Greetings and a very warm welcome to this week's vlog. The humble cable tie. It's quite astounding what you can do with a cable tie. You can put it on your wrist so that it's very uncomfortable. You can do things with it that involve art. You can make exciting pictures with it. You can, of course, hold cables together with it. You can also hold fences together with it. And it works very well because, as you may know, we've had quite a lot of stormy weather of late here in the UK, and our fence has been a little bit battered by it. Now, not long ago we put up a new fence panel and attached it to the two panels located at the side. See, because the central part just fell away. And in the wind, a number of the screws came loose and it was flippy-flapping. So I went into our toolbox, and I took out 3 translucent cable ties, and I thought, by heck, these will do it. And I went out into the garden and I did tie the fences together, and then about a week later along came the stormy wind and rain and the fence held. So I'm very pleased to say that cable ties are extremely effective at holding fences together. You really should try it. It's quite amazing. Being a bit of a Doctor Who fan, as you may know from watching the vlogs, I like to read the BBC's official Doctor Who magazine because it's full of lovely pictures and reviews and photos, and it likes to go back and look at the classic series and in depth and detail, which I find very interesting, very nostalgic. And at the back of every issue there is a crossword. It is, of course, a Doctor Who themed crossword, which includes trinkets and tidbits from the entire series. And it is a fiendish crossword. It truly is. Now, I have quite a lot of knowledge of Doctor Who. A lot of it has been gleaned from reading my rather splendid book, the television companion to Doctor Who, which goes all the way back to the beginning and fills you in on all the stuff that you would never even think that a book would contain information on, such as who did the lighting and the sound and what problems they had with the special effects, that sort of stuff. But even though I've done all that, the crosswords in these magazines are terrifically difficult, because I'm like, I don't know. Director who directed the Daleks in this episode? Don't actually know. And the famous last words of the Doctor's character this or character that, I don't know. But the aim of every crossword basically is you're supposed to be able to get 6 or 7 letters in little shaded boxes, and if you've done it right, unscrambled, they will create the name of a person or a thing or something Doctor Who related. But until now, I have to say, I have not been able to complete one of these crosswords without getting stuck at some point. So there you go. I must bone up on my Doctor Who knowledge. I have a theory about dreams that I'd like to share with you. In that I had a dream last night of a hotel by the sea, which is, you would argue, not all that unusual, since I've stayed in many hotels, so no doubt that fed into it at some point. The interesting thing, though, is I get a lot of dreams where I find myself visiting, in effect, the same places every time. Now, there are, of course, conflicting theories on what dreams actually are. Some would say they are simply random images from the brain, memories, little things that we might think about quite often, or something we saw on the television or heard on the radio, that sort of thing, developed by the subconscious mind into a complete experience. My belief, though, is that the subconscious part of us separate from the conscious mind, the much larger part of us that we might not necessarily be aware of all the time, is in effect capable of creating perceptions of reality. In fact, I kind of believe, well, I do believe actually, that all that happens to us, all that we perceive as reality, is exactly that, a perception of essentially what stuff is made up of, which is energy, electromagnetic energy, particles moving incredibly fast. And it's just how we perceive it. So that means, in theory, some subconscious mind could be capable of creating whole worlds. And that's where I think dreaming comes into it, because I do genuinely believe that in our dreams we don't just randomly muse. In some cases we probably do, a little bit, because the subconscious then is creating a world for us to muse into, but I'm sure of it that there are some alternate realities that genuinely do exist, that we actually are capable of and do end up actually visiting in our dreams. This hotel has appeared before. I can't remember when it was, but some time back I had a dream where I was in exactly this hotel, staying in a room with a friend, and it was at the end of a corridor. A very distinct corridor, because I remember how it looked, a little bit shabby, a little teensy bit shabby, but quite sort of chic at the same time. And there was a fish and chip dinner that took place. Well, we were back in the same hotel again, back into the lift, which again was as I remember it. It was a bizarre lift. It was like a truck and trailer. It was like one part and a sort of flexing bit and the second part, and it went very, very slowly, even though we were only going up one floor. Like I said, reality is all about perception. So the long and short of it is this: I genuinely do think that dreams are much more than what they seem. Now, in fact, there have been some scientific experiments recently, I believe in New Zealand, where scientists have gone a step closer to revealing something fundamental like that about dreams, where we actually do go somewhere tangibly real in a subconscious sense. But obviously there's a lot more of research to be done in that field. However, one little piece of that research intrigues me most of all, and that is that they were able to get people to actually bring back objects from their dreams. And I'm not just talking about, sort of imagining they held them in their hand, but actually genuinely bring back objects from their dreams. I think in one instance someone brought back a small toy dinosaur, which, if you think about it, had never existed anywhere else other than in the dream. Now, as improbable as that sounds, that is genuinely what happened, and I can't profess to understand how such a thing is actually possible. But I suppose in the context of everything being just a perception of reality, a creation of energy that the subconscious mind, i.e. part of us, is capable of moulding, then, quite literally, anything is possible. I always think it's nice when a supermarket rewards you for your custom, and Mr. Tesco, well, he's setting a good example, I think, as are many others, by offering a wide variety of benefits to those who frequent his stores. Now, as well as the usual vouchers for this and that we got this week, then we also got a voucher to win something entirely more exciting than just food and drink. Oh yes, because amongst the various different things that I can now get money off, because I buy them sort of semi-regularly, what the data they keep on you, honestly, is a mini. Yes, I could actually win a mini just by buying a pint of milk at Tesco's. What a wonderful world we do live in. That, I'm afraid, is all we have time for this week, but do not fear, for we shall be back again next week. So whatever you do enjoy the next 7 days, won't you? Have fun. Until then, bye for now.